Hey guys, welcome back. It feels real good to be doing a tutorial. Today's a special day because this is the first time I'm ever going to do my brows on camera. I know. And I'm also going to be using the Modern Renaissance palette. Really loving this one. This is definitely one of my favorite palettes that Anastasia and Norvina have created. It's so beautiful. I'm gonna zoom you guys on in so you can see the brows. So yeah, I know. Benefit came out with a bunch of brow products, and I swear to you, from the moment I got my hands on them, I haven't been using any other brow products. I have kind of like a 4-step brow process. This might seem a little bit excessive to some of you, but honestly, this is how I get my brows to look the way that they do. I first start out with the Browvo Conditioning Primer by Benefit Cosmetics. I love this primer so much. It really helps thicken your eyebrow hairs. Like seriously, I gave you guys an update on my Snapchat where like I showed you kind of like before I started using it and after, and let me tell you, the difference is insane. So I like to do a little stroke in between each hair going back and forth. So I use this bad boy like twice a day. I only do like a thin coat during the day because it does make your eyebrows a little bit hard, but at night you could slather this puppy on, you know, you can go nuts with it. And then once my brows are primed, I go in with Brow by Benefit. I'm in the shade number 2. I do like to have my eyebrows a little bit darker than like my hair color, just because I'm like platinum. I don't want to be walking around with white eyebrows, you know? This is like a cream gel brow product. It's very similar to a dip brow, and you can actually like, look at this. So it has the brush here. It comes like this. You can pop it off, attach it to the end, and then unscrew it, and you have a nice long wand to do your brows with. So the way that I like to do my brows is first I'll line the underneath part of them first. Like I want to get that shape underneath because I feel like that's really where my brows kind of come together, is when I have that definitive line. So I'm going to go ahead and do that first. And I like to do little strokes. I don't like to go in a full motion, just so that way it looks a little bit more natural and stuff. So once you have that definitive line, then I like to go in the top part. Like, you know where typically the point of your brow is, like the highest point of your brow? I like to start there, kind of like make a little rounded shape. That way, like, you know not to go above that line. So I like to do, I kind of have to get close to the mirror. I hope you guys can see. I like to kind of round it out and follow through to the bottom. The way that I like to do this is like, I will only use the Brow on this part of my eyebrow. So I will have the underline part first, and then I like to go in and just do like the highest point with Brow. And then you can start to fill it in, but don't fill in all of your eyebrows, just where we made that the highest point to the end of your brow. And I will tell you guys why, because we have another step coming up. I go in with precisely my brow pencil. So the end has a little spoolie for you to like comb out your hairs, and then this tip is like so sharp, girl. So I have been kind of like trying to go for a more natural brow, just because I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to have too much of a dramatic brow, if that makes sense. So what I like to do is start where we left off and just connect to the front. So that way, like, this kind of makes more for a natural shape, whereas the Brow is like, you know, it's for fiercer brows. But I like to use both of them because I really need that pomade to make that like rounded high point. So then I just go in and just follow my hairline and then fill in. And then this last step, this is like a dream come true. I swear to you, this product like changed my life. So this is the 3D brow tones. And the way that it works is that it only will pick up the hairs and will kind of like lighten the hairs to make your brows really have a lot of dimension. So I just like to stroke it through, and like you can go back and forth, like make sure you get all the brow hairs. And then this end part where it's like really pointy, I like to reach for the more finer hairs over here. But it like really gives so much dimension to your brows. And I just want to show you guys the difference. Like this is my brow finished, and this is the saddest brow you've ever seen in your entire life. Like that difference is amazing. So I'm gonna quickly fill in this brow and we'll get on to the rest of the tutorial. So I primed my eyes off camera because you guys have seen me do that like 1,000 times. So I'm just going to be taking the Modern Renaissance palette, taking the color Tempera. I'm going to be applying that kind of like up into my crease and on my brow bone. This is going to be perfect for a transition shade. You might not be able to see it, but it's going to make everything really, really smooth. Taking the color Burnt Orange, I'm gonna go exactly over that Tempera color, and we're just gonna go back and forth using windshield wiper motions. This is like such a beautiful transition color. I'm obsessed. Next, taking the color Love Letter, I'm going to be applying this strictly in the crease. You don't want to bring it up to your brow bone or anything like that. This is going to like make it really, really summery and pretty. I'm taking the Morphe M514 for this as well. And then I'm taking this really, really gorgeous orangey shade right in the bottom left, and I am just going to be applying that to the entire lid, and I'm using the Dose of Colors concealer brush for this. For liner, I'm going to be going in with the Tarte Clay Paint Liner, and I also like to take my Tarte brush with this. It's like a double-ended brush. I'm obsessed with it, and I'm just gonna wing it out. I did a winged liner tutorial using liquid liner, so I'm curious if you guys would want to see me doing it using gel, so let me know what you guys think. Okay, so once you get your wings on, hunty, I'm going to use some of the Tarte Lash Paint Mascara, and I am just going to prep for some falsies. Had to break for a chewy bar for a hot second. So for the summer, I really like using my Dior Air Flash. I feel like it's a lot lighter than a lot of foundations. This is the shade 301. So what I like to do is typically I'll just spray it onto my kabuki, but before I do that, I'm going to put some Farsali Rose Gold Elixir drops onto my brush. This is just going to like help my skin be a little bit more moisturized in this summer sun. And I'm just going to spray. I really love the way that this foundation applies. It's so beautiful and lightweight. It is kind of expensive, but it does last you for a while. As long as you know you use it for your special occasions. Like if you know you're gonna take pictures or whatever. There's this stupid fly. To conceal, I'm gonna be taking the Too Faced Born This Way concealer. I am in the shade Light because I do like a bright under eye. Smells like coconuts, so good. I feel like this is one of my favorite concealers I've tried in a very long time. Like my top two are the Born This Way and the Morphe concealer for sure. So I'm just going to apply. And then I like to kind of map out where I'm going to put everything. I don't want to take it too much under my eye because when you blend up, you should kind of like blend up with it, if that makes sense. And then I like to bring it on the sides of my nose because this is going to give the illusion that my nose is a little bit smaller. And then I also take a little bit above the Cupid's bow and the chin. And the forehead, just a tad, because I want to make my forehead look a little bit smaller. So just a little. And then bring it down the center of your nose. Like right around there. So I'm just going to take my damp beauty blender and I'm going to blend everything out, you know? And And the way I like to blend is I'll just start at the bottom and kind of like blend her sideways and then bring her up. And the same thing with the other eye. And you want to make sure you're using a very light hand. So now a little bitty trick that I used to do a lot, but I kind of stopped. I don't know why I stopped doing it. I think I just wanted to try other products. I don't know. I'm going to take another Dior Air Flash. This is in the shade 500. This is a really deep shade. Compared to like 300 I put on my face, this is 500. So I'm going to use this to contour, and I'm going to use that same kabuki if I can find it. I swear to God, my stuff just like grows legs and walks away on its own. And I'm just going to spray this 500 Dior Air Flash, just how I did before, and I'm going to contour with it. And I like to kind of push up with the contour, focusing it more towards my ear, pushing it up. And then I'm just taking whatever is left on the brush and kind of like popping it on my forehead, bringing it down like wherever I would normally kind of contour my face. It looks a little bit dark for my forehead, so I'm gonna go over it with a beauty blender just to kind of like mute it a little bit. Beauty blenders like absorb product, a lot of product. So this is a good little tip to do if you feel like it's a little bit too dark or you want to get rid of some color. And then I just take my beauty blender, take out any creasing that like may have formed, and then I just pat on the powder afterwards. And make beautiful faces. Taking the Hoola bronzer and the Morphe G40. Oh, this brush is life. I don't know how I ever contoured before it. And then I'm just going to contour my cheeks. I'm basically just going over where we put that Dior Flash, the darker one, the 500 one. I'm going to bake the sides of my contour to clean it up and make sure that it's like really, really sharp and not muddy. I also like to bake my laugh lines because I get super, super animated when I talk. It kind of like tends to crease. So that's why I like to bake it. So for the bottom lash line, I'm going to be taking this, the Love Letter pink color and burnt orange, and I'm just going to kind of like smoke it out and make these really beautiful faces while I do it. And then getting tighter to the lower lash line, I am taking that Real Gar color that is on our lids, and I'm just going to line the lower lashes with it. Ooh, I like it. You want to add that mascara to your bottom lashes. I'm taking the Tarteist one. And then for highlight, I am going to be taking the Pure Cosmetics strobing palette. And I like to use my Morphe M512 brush. And I'm just going to kind of like put it on the highest points of my cheekbone. And then, you know, wherever else you feel fit. I like to personally have my highlight shine to Mars. So I kind of, you know, go a little crazy with the highlighter. Get on my chin, a little bit above the Cupid's bow. It'll look really pretty, like when you put your lipstick on later, it'll make it pop. And then I like to do a little bit above the eyebrows. And then once I'm done with that, I'm taking the Tarte Skin Twinkle palette, and I'm just going to go over that powder. Ooh, yes. And then I like to put blush in between my contour and my highlight. So honestly, this is like my favorite blush palette that Tarte ever made. It is just the Tarteist Clay Blush Palette. And I'm just going to mix like every single color in here because I don't know which one I like the best. And I'm just going to add me some blush. And then I am just taking my Mr. Right brush from Too Faced and I am wiping downwards that Laura Mercier powder. And And for my lips, I am using my creation with Lipland. This is the color Gigi, and these are my matte lip crayons that I created with Lipland, and I'm so excited. If you guys haven't looked at them out, checked them out yet, purchased them, make sure you go to lipland.com and you'll be able to check them all out. So, this is like my most favorite one that I made, and it's named after my sister. And what I'm gonna do is I also have another color created that is called Zoe, after my doggy. I'm going to like kind of mix the two of them together to give it more of that burnt orange to match our eyes a little bit better. And this is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for all the love and the support on my lipsticks with Lipland. Like, I'm totally gonna make a video about them and get them up for you. Don't you worry. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you next time.